Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Scorpio energy. And we're going to have two rows. The top row is going to be what we refer to as high vibe Scorpio energy. And the bottom row is going to be a more worldly, shadowy Scorpio energy. And we all have our dualistic nature. We have our more immature, prideful, defensive, fearful, lazy, lustful, greedy nature. And we have our more hopeful, believing, loving nature. So we struggle within ourselves and we have to debate within ourselves because we have free will and we have to make choices. And some people could be struggling within themselves. You know, high vibe energy is about loving and believing in yourself, having hope and faith and belief in your dreams. And high vibe Scorpio is about wanting to be in authentic, deep, meaningful relationships that are just and fair and people acting with character and integrity, and instead of letting their fear or their insecurity or their defensive nature kind of dictate the decisions they make in their life. And we've all been there to different degrees. And so some people could be struggling within themselves. We all would like to not have to step out of our comfort zone to a degree, but part of life is facing our fears to step out of our comfort zone and kind of grow to our full potential. And sometimes when we're going to do that, there could be other people in our life who aren't on the same page, and they might not be moving forward with us in that way, and that can be hard. So anyway, we all tap into Scorpio energy, so listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story and where other people in your life are at in the story. The reason for the top rose reading is the family room. And then we have the house, ending, change, bouquet, stork, and poverty. So the house can represent our foundation or a way of viewing life at a given point in time. And that comes to an end, an old way of living our life. We don't view life the same way. We've healed, we've grown, we've matured, we've expanded our perception of the world around us or something. So we've kind of transformed our life and we've emotionally detached from an old way of living life and possibly some people in our life. And then with the change card, with that being a car, kind of like the Chariot in tarot, we realize we got to get in the driver's seat of our own life. And we need to take the reins of our dualistic nature and quit driving our life off into the ditch, enabling poor behavior in ourselves and indulging poor behavior in others. And the bouquet card, on the card, it has written there Virgo energy, that we live our life at a phase of life to learn lessons, to help us get more clear about our truth and what our dreams are, what our dreams aren't, what we find enjoyable, what we don't, and we change over time. And our Virgo energy is that aspect of ourself that kind of did that inner work to see the truth. And there was some truth or understanding, and the family room can be that work is kind of done internally. It's not things that everybody knows about. We just work through our fears and our insecurities and our self-learning beliefs and things like that. Behind closed doors is what the family room talks about. And then in the stork card, Aries energy, we're kind of inspired. Aries is fire sign energy. So inspired to give birth to something new. And then the poverty card is kind of like the Five of Pentacles, which is our philosophy of life. And it can talk about moving forward. The Five of Pentacles comes after the Four of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles can be holding on to an old way of viewing life. And we want to give birth to moving forward. When we add the truth to that old foundation, we view life differently. And so then we're ready to move forward. And some people right now could be doing this work within themselves, kind of behind closed doors, and maybe not everyone knows it in their life, that they've been doing this work within themselves to close out an old chapter of their life. The house card reminds me of the Four of Wands, which is also Aries energy. Aries energy is about the self. And in our more worldly nature, the reason for the bottom rose reading is seduction, which kind of would be fire sign energy, all these things of the world that we're attracted to, and all these things we want to indulge in the world. And we can be more about ourselves, and we have a lot of growing up and maturing to do. And we go through all those lessons in life to hopefully get out of being just more about ourselves. And we've kind of gotten out of that phase of life. And then the Chariot card is about love, Cancer energy. The world isn't just about me. If I want to work together with other people in a relationship, and if I like to be an emotionally balanced, mature, insightful, loving, warm, just fair, balanced people, I need to be that type of person too. And it starts within myself, in my own foundation of self, to transform myself. And I have to work through my own worldly nature, which the Five of Pentacles can kind of talk about a lack mentality, maybe feeling I wasn't good enough, that people would reject me, that instead of doing this work within myself, I could just make my life about these things of the world, and I could go indulge in those things to make me feel better. And some people, they've already done those things, and they know those things aren't the answer. And they realized it starts within me, behind closed doors. It's not out. The answer to me feeling high vibe energy is about feeling emotionally kind of stable and grounded within yourself, being more independent of all these things that can manipulate you. And it starts within me. I have to do this work to love me. Quit making my life more about ego or image or indulgence. And I need to do this inner work to love myself and get out of my own lack mentality, because we have our dualistic nature of ways of viewing life. And there's people in our life who are loving and nurturing and supportive and want us to grow to our full potential. And then there's people in our life who probably live their life about other things, maybe, and maybe not so encouraging, maybe a little manipulative, maybe a little more fearful or codependent or intimidating or controlling, or, who are we going to stay in a relationship with? And if we'd like to be not making our life so much just about ourselves, our defensive nature, our immature nature, we need to do this work within ourselves, get out of our own lack mentality, and love ourselves and appreciate what we bring to the table, and kind of respect what we bring to the table. And that, if we don't respect it and we don't value ourselves, there's a whole bunch of people be willing to be in a relationship with us feeling that way. Perfect. Let's date. Let's get married. That's how I live my life. I like you living your life that way. Let's do that. And we'll keep living our life, letting all these things manipulate us. Or the truth sets us free. And we can do this inner work within ourselves to offer ourselves love and compassion and forgiveness for the mistakes we've made. Life's all about learning lessons. And I choose to offer myself love and compassion and forgiveness for the lessons I've had to learn. I offer love and compassion to other people in my life that maybe made me feel I wasn't good enough. But those people are learning lessons in life too, and some of them learn more lessons than other people. Some of them aren't very nice. Some of them aren't very kind. Some of them are hurtful, abusive, unjust, unfair, manipulative, selfish, greedy, prideful. It's human beings, and some people have freed themselves to be more authentic and loving, and some people haven't. And we just accept the truth of it, that people are where they're at, and then they live their life that way. And they probably, have some consequences like we do for the choices that we make in life. And some people are like, those people maybe acted in kind of a more shadowy way of being because of their own lack mentality. Well, am I going to keep repeating that same pattern? In tarot, you sometimes hear about people talking about breaking generational curses. If I don't want to keep feeling rejected and hurt, by all these things that happen in the world, just like people I've known in my life have been hurt and rejected and That's not who I want to be. And I do want to free myself from it. And it does take a lot of work and effort. And when you've kind of done that work within yourself, you do have compassion for people in your life because you know how hard it is to free yourself and to love yourself. And I think to love yourself is like the hardest lesson to learn. And that, can take anywhere from 30 years on before people really have learned all these lessons that we need to learn to realize all these other things we make important in our life that we think are the answer aren't the answer. This game of life ain't easy. It's complicated, But if we keep persevering, we realize that I define my worth and value, me and God, and I'm going to be authentically myself in the world, and I'm going to treat people the way I like to be treated, and I don't like to be in shadowy energy. I don't like to be in my fear, my insecurity, or petty, or envious, or jealous, or hurtful, or unkind. It's not, I can create and live a little bit of hell, or I can live and create a little bit of heaven, and I choose to create a little bit of heaven, and I choose to be in that energy within myself, and it starts within me, loving and maintaining balance within myself, being like my own best mother, father, coach voice to myself, to offset my own fears and insecurities, be a good parent to my inner child nature, encourage myself, love myself, offer myself compassion and forgiveness so that I can give birth to something new. And I don't keep repeating this old pattern, because we'll all repeat a pattern until we learn the lesson we were meant to learn from it. And some people have learned it starts within me. The only person I ultimately can change is me, because everybody else has got free will. And high vibe energy is about being a leader in the world. And Virgo, well, this is Virgo. Virgo's kind of about being a spiritual leader in the world. Again, high vibe Scorpio is people who aren't afraid to love. It's kind of like exploring the mysteries of life emotionally. We're emotionally complex human beings. And people who harness high vibe Scorpios like, bring it on, God. I want to experience it all. I'll do the highs. I'll do the lows. Because shadowy Scorpio can be, I don't want to ride on the roller coaster. I'll ride on the merry-go-round. And I find my emotions confusing. I want to keep them buried beneath the surface. That might mean I am sacrificing having more deep, meaningful relationships. I'm willing to sacrifice that. I prefer to not do that. And we have to accept that's where some people are, and that's their free will choice. Everybody does what makes them feel stable within themselves. And, it'd be like trying to force someone to perform in some way or at some level of emotional maturity that they're not wanting to do or capable of doing. Because, before you kind of live maybe your authentic life, you have to have some life experience to probably make you feel bold and brave enough to be more authentically yourself. So, the reason for the bottom rose reading, like I mentioned, is seduction. And we have the fish, the rider, and the heart. So, this is Pisces energy, Aquarius. We all get caught up by these things of the world. And Pisces energy can talk about these things that we think will be emotionally fulfilling. And anybody can have an illusion about what the dream life or dream relationship is, because Aquarius energy is about how we view life and what we think the dream life would be. And some people's idea of the dream life is to keep kind of indulging their shadow nature. All these things that I want to go indulge in that I think will make me look like the shining star. I'll look like I'm living the dream. Other people might think they're an idiot, but, so much of our life is just based on what we think, And if we think, look at me and look what I'm doing, and look, doesn't everybody think I'm living the life? Well, if that's what we think, that's how we're going to live our life. And if they think they find those things really emotionally fulfilling, high vibe energy is about tempering your more immature, prideful, egotistical, lustful, greedy, immature, indulgent nature. And some people are like, why would I do that? I don't want to temper any of that shit, man. That's my zone. And in their heart, that could be just what they love. Everybody has free will to live their life whatever way they want. They're just going to have to face the consequences of the choices they make. And there'll probably be some high vibe people that want more, emotionally mature, stable, grounded, people acting with more character and integrity. And some people aren't there, don't view life that way, may never view life that way. Some people love love. I love being in love. Let's get in a relationship, be in a relationship, love love. Oh, you kind of want me to kind of do some inner work to heal from my immature nature or these illusions about relationships that I have? Yeah, no, you can leave. I'll leave you out in the cold. I'm going to go find someone else to start a new relationship with, because then we get to start a brand new one, and I love love. And then they get in another relationship, so shadowy energy can kind of be indulging yourself in a relationship. I never really grow up and mature myself. I never really temper my ego. I never make decisions that are best for other people involved that my decisions affect. I only want to make decisions that are best for me. It's all about me and what I want to indulge in. I'm the center of attention. There could be people in the world with Aquarius energy and maybe the seduction card, which is also kind of like fire sign energy, where people could be attractive, people could be charming, people could look very successful in the world. And their view of life could be that because I have these certain traits or characteristics, which high vibe people have those traits and characteristics too, it's just that high vibe people don't, that's not what they're using to try to get people to get in relationships with them and stay in relationships with them. High vibe people are doing love and truth and character and integrity and justice and fairness. But other people could think, no, man, I got these things. I have these ways about me. And because I do, I think there's people who would maybe be willing to indulge me in a relationship. And they could feel they deserve to be indulged. So say you could have two people, cute, attractive, charming, successful. One of them thinks, I'm going to use this to my advantage to manipulate and control people in a relationship. The other person has no intention of trying to manipulate and control people. They might appreciate that they're attractive and successful, but that's not like the currency they use to try, it helps to get people to come talk to you and be in a relationship with you, but they're authentic, warm, loving, just, fair people, and that's why people want to keep staying in a relationship with them. Other people might be seduced by the other people, but then you kind of find out that there's no substance there. And I could want to get in a relationship with someone. I could be attracted to them. There could be a lot of good things I like about it. But eventually, people could realize my dream isn't going to come into reality with you, is it? Because you're not more emotionally balanced. You're tipped out of balance, being either more about yourself or these things of the world. You might kind of create the illusion of love, but you're not authentically building your life and your relationships on love. And love is the guiding factor. Love and your intuition and all those good things being the driving factor for the decisions you make in your life. It's more your ego or your image or your status or your looks or indulging yourself. And you could realize they lack some self-awareness in the Virgo card. You might have realized they got some illusions about what it means to be in a relationship, but they don't want to see the truth of it. And they might be manipulative. Shadowy Scorpio can be intimidating, controlling, kind of superficial and shallow. And you realize they lack self-insight, and nothing new is going to grow there because, they keep repeating this old pattern and they're never willing to give birth to anything new, because to give birth to something new, you kind of have to let go of some old ways of viewing life or habits. And they might not want to let go of anything because they have no interest in doing life any differently. And other people get in relationships with them, and it's kind of like, well, I thought a dream was going to come into reality. I thought we were going to have a more deep, meaningful relationship. I thought we were going to kind of all grow up and mature ourselves over time. And you keep kind of staying in a time warp and keep acting like some age when we first met. And maybe 5 years has gone by, and 10 years or 20 years, and you're still acting like X age. Are you ever going to grow up? Are you ever going to like let go of a phase of life and kind of grow and mature yourself? And they realize they're not. And right now there could be some loving people that might be indulging someone in poor behavior because in their fire energy, they are really tempted by these things of the world and the person or whatever, or the job. And so some of those people put an end to getting in the driver's seat of their life, seeing the truth to move forward in life. And they're going to keep moving forward with people even if they do feel left out in the cold. You know, because we can all stay in a relationship, keep putting work and effort, hoping one day those people will change. And everybody's ready to leave that job, that friendship, that relationship when they're ready. And we can't make other people be ready to do that. And we can't make people see the truth. And if you know some people who you think aren't getting in the driver's seat of their life and moving forward to kind of be on the same page as you or to invest in a relationship with you, you know, the truth sets us free. So there was some people you might have wanted to come together with in a relationship, but for some of those people, you see that's not going to happen. And you can't kind of keep living in illusion about it. So out of love for yourself and dealing with the truth of it, you put in this work and effort to keep maintaining balance within yourself and take that truth and you detach and you move forward. And this is a process that kind of happens, you know, for some of you, you're not in a relationship with them. For some, you could have gotten out of a relationship with someone. But this detachment process kind of happens internally within yourself. And then you're moving forward in a victorious, emotionally balanced, loving way, making offers to other people who you think are on the same page as you to move forward with you in that way. And some of those people will move forward with you and some of those people won't. Let's go back to the bottom row. So right now we could have some people, you know, we all got to go off on these journeys in life to learn some lessons. Some people have already been there, done that. They're moving forward in life differently. I don't want to repeat that pattern. I could have used to be seduced by love and let my heart run my life. Now I respect that all aspects of myself. I kind of look at the Four of Wands card as firing on all cylinders. You know, because there's the Four Wands, which in tarot we have the four suits of the deck. But before, my heart was running my life. My mind was running my life. My worldly nature, my passionate nature. Now, all four of them were working cooperatively together because I have learned that all of them are important. If I just let my heart run my life, the other areas of my life kind of go in the toilet. If I just make my life about my fear or defensiveness, other aspects of my life kind of go in the toilet. I need to respect all aspects of myself as being important, and out of love for myself and these lessons I've learned in life, I'm now going to give birth to something new. And I am going to move forward in life differently. I am not going to repeat this pattern. And I might know some people who are still living their life a certain way that I had lived my life to some degree. So for the people that are currently kind of in a more worldly, shadowy Scorpio energy, with these cards not showing themselves, how I interpret that is that they're repeating an old pattern. So they've probably had some people move away from them with the Scorpio ending death card there. But they don't want people to know that they could have had some high vibe people in their life that were emotionally balanced, insightful, just, fair, balanced, act with character and integrity. But those people wanted to move forward in life differently, which would have required these people to see some truth that they don't want to see, which could even just be in my Scorpio nature, that person wants a deep, meaningful relationship. I don't go there. I get hurt doing that. And they don't want people to know that people who harness these energies in a high vibe way have left their life. And they also don't want people to know that they harness these energies in a more worldly, shadowy way. So let's go see what they are. Thoughts, child, false person, and direction. So the thoughts card here, with that having a masculine figure on it, it reminds me of the King of Swords. Libra energy, we can, in our more worldly, shadowy nature, we can live more from our mind than our heart because we're defensive of to love or just connecting in with our more emotionally intuitive nature. We might think I need to be practical and logical. I don't want my heart to run my life or maybe even be significant in my life. You know, I'm okay just indulging in relationships, being a little, keeping my distance emotionally, being in them, indulging in them, enjoying them, but I'm not doing love. And they could turn their back on their more hopeful, believing inner child nature. They also might not want to see the truth that they are operating more from their ego. And either they don't want to see the truth that because, you know, when we're kind of tempted by things in the world to act in more immature, prideful, selfish, indulgent, whatever ways of being, it's probably not going to reap the harvest that we want. But some people could think that they're really smart, and shadowy energy and Pisces energy doesn't mean you're dealing with a Pisces. We all tap into Pisces energy. Could think I can just create an illusion about who I am. And I can present myself as being this type of high vibe person. Maybe there is someone who's high vibe who feels left out in the cold or isn't in a relationship. They could think people feel left out in the cold, but they're not in a relationship. Doesn't mean they do feel left out in the cold. But they could think, I know, I'll just create an illusion that their dreams can come into reality with me and that I'm functioning from love. And I'll go present myself to them and try to get them to get in a relationship with me. And I'm hiding the fact that it's all a strategy. It isn't really authentically who I am. It is not my truth. But I can, because I think I'm so smart, and all these things I've learned from different people in the world, I know how to laugh when this happens, and I know how to smile when this happens, and I know to say this, and I know to act like this. It's kind of really bizarre, but it's like people who are continually living a fake life. They're not even living their authentic life. I am a mental construct of all of these behaviors I've learned from other people. Some of them could be narcissistic. I just create this persona because the way I view life is that it can be all about trying to find someone to get in a relationship where it's good for my ego and my image and I look like a shining star in the world. I think that's just and fair. I don't want the people I'm in a relationship to know that's how I view life, but that can be how they view life. And then if they can get someone loving to get in the relationship with them, then they're hoping that even when that person realizes the truth, that this person isn't who they say they are, that they are more emotionally shallow and superficial, it is more about them, or it is more about the ego and the image, they're hoping, because we can all be seduced by our emotionally, and we had a dream and ego and all those things. They're hoping that people will stay in the relationship with them anyway. Even though some of these people, it's like they committed fraud from the get-go. They weren't being authentic. But they're hoping, because of other people's pride and ego, that they won't stand up for their own inner child nature. And that they'll just wear a false mask like they do. Look how wonderful our life is. Even though I could feel left out in the cold now, feel like I'm missing an opportunity to be in a deep, meaningful, loving relationship, because I found out that's not really the truth of who this person is. This relationship's never going to grow and mature itself. They're not ever going to grow and mature themselves. They have, like, let's see, let me look. Is Scorpio... Yep, Scorpio's fixed sign energy. They try to present themselves as a more fluid, flexible type person. Aquarius is fixed sign energy. They're more about, let's get in the relationship. I might present myself as more flexible, to get people in a relationship, like I'm not so rigid in a way. But it really is more about my ego and my image and me and my status and me indulging myself. And I'm hoping that even when you do figure out the truth, you'll keep moving forward with me anyway. Because basically you're seduced by these things of the world. Your ego, your image, your status. Don't want people to judge you. And that is all part of the illusion, because really the whole world is going to judge you regardless of how you live your life, most likely, just depending on what kind of people they are. So we get out of the illusion. We get out of those friendships and those relationships because we adhere to a higher truth and justice, and this is an injustice. And we get in the driver's seat out of love and truth and justice and fairness and character and integrity to detach from that foundation and give birth to something new that is aligned with truth and love and justice. So, and also, more worldly, shadowy people can indulge their more immature worldly nature. And if you're not in a relationship for love, why are you in it? If anyone else, they're like always looking around. Who else? Is there someone out there who I think is maybe more codependent, more fearful, would more indulge me in my ego or my shadowy traits and characteristics? If I'm more money and ego and image focused, is there someone else out there? Well, what do you have and what do you look like? What's your job? And it's just trying to find someone else to manipulate, because there's no loyalty there, because they're not in it for love to begin with. It's just using their emotions and their sexuality and their assets to try to manipulate people, indulge themselves in it until something else better comes along. Some of those people right now could be checking out, trying to figure out if there's someone else who they could manipulate. If they get themselves in relationships with loving people, on one hand, they like to be in relationships with loving people. Who doesn't like to be around loving people? Wow, you're really loving and encouraging and warm, and you're so self-disciplined, and you're not bossy or controlling or manipulative or immature or prideful or egotistical. Damn, I like hanging out with you. But the problem is, that really isn't how they like to live their life. They are maybe more about ego and image and being the center of attention and all that kind of stuff. And the high vibe people aren't really like that. So they kind of want to be in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. But that can be a problem too, because a shadowy relationship can be this imbalance kind of relationship where someone likes to be deferred to, because it's not about equal give and take. And it almost has to be, it's a conundrum, because they want people that have all these things that they want, but those people like to be deferred to. And, if both people kind of think they're the most important person in the relationship, that can be a challenge. But they could go maybe try to find someone who's maybe more insecure, more codependent, more clingy, or would be more willing to stay in the relationship regardless of what truth they come to find out, because of those things that can tempt us, right? But I think they're always kind of looking for someone new. And in the mismatched relationships, if one person is starting to feel left out in the cold, it might be partly because the other person is kind of looking for their new target. you know, I've been in a relationship with you long enough. I'm tired of you trying to get me to change. I think I will leave you out in the cold and I'll go see if I can find someone new to manipulate. But anyway, let's go see what's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Scorpio energy. What is coming up for them that they might not see coming? The Six of Wands and the Death card, because of the Three of Pentacles. If people are in this process right now of kind of doing this work within themselves, you will be successful. And you will kind of get out of your ego about people in your life, in your past, or romantic relationships, or whoever, or just you getting out of your more immature, shadowy nature. Because why? Because in your Capricorn energy of self, you're putting in work and effort because you're inspired to change in the Scorpio Death card. And you're being in high vibe Leo energy of life-giving energy. I could sit around and belittle and berate myself all day, or I can put in work and effort to love and encourage myself so I can change and transform my life. And if there are people that I need to kind of emotionally distance myself from, I'm doing this work within myself to kind of feel confident within myself in the Leo energy, to be bold and brave enough to emotionally detach from those people and distance myself. And for some people that have already distanced themselves, then Scorpio energy, we have these emotionally complex feelings for people. We can distance ourselves from people, not really be in contact with them, but it can take time to really emotionally detach. And then we're really ready to move forward in life differently, and we've kind of healed from all of it and all that good stuff. And then as you're doing that, you're ready to move forward in life differently, because in the Scorpio Death card, you're not the same person that you were before. You have gained insight, wisdom. You're not as naive, not as gullible, not as codependent, not as easily tempted and manipulated by things in the world, because you've just learned these lessons in life, and it's transformed your whole foundation of self and how you view yourself and how you view the world. And then I think as you're moving forward in that way, there's going to be other people that are going to want to move forward with you, because that is the energy you're in and how you live your life. And you're not operating from your ego and your fear and your insecurity and your lust and your greed to feel better. You did the inner work to be a more emotionally mature, stable, grounded person than you could have been before. And other people see that, and they've went out with people who are more in this energy, and they don't want to go be in relationships with people like that anymore either. And they will want to be in a relationship with you. And you, as you move forward, because we have free will and you have to be kind of given choice, there's going to be more ego people that want to be in a relationship with you. Hey, man, you look like you're moving forward. I want to be the next person to indulge in a relationship with you. It would make me look like I moved on, make me look like a shining star, look like I've gotten over those old people. And I think you'll just listen to your intuition. Kind of like, here we have the car, which is, and the Virgo energy, investing time and energy with people. I think you'll get to know people, but you won't move forward and give birth to maybe moving forward with people any further, like than a friend, until you find out the truth of their foundation of what motivates and inspires them. Is it more ego and image and the world, or have they been inspired and learned lessons and are kind of on the same page as you? And if they are, those are the people you'll move forward with. What's coming up for some people who might harness a more worldly, shadowy Scorpio energy that they might not see coming up. Okay. We have 2 cards not showing themselves, and it's because of the 5 of Wands. So the 5s can talk about change. Some of these people can be very defensive to change because there's nothing they want to, any old ways of being. You know, when we were 15, 18, 21, 25, and we were moving forward in life, we had to let go of some of our more immature ways of being and acting and viewing relationships. But when we do get older, people can be like, I'm good, this is it, I'm done, no more, I don't want to change anymore. I have this way of viewing life, and that's going to be the way I view life for the next 40 years. But other people do keep changing, and that's something these people can't control, because other people do listen to their intuition, and they don't let their fear and their insecurity and their pride and ego completely run their life like some of these other people do. And they really are a little more flexible. And people change over time. And if people have been offering love and encouragement to these people, and they keep seeing the other people seem to have a lot of inner conflict about doing some of this inner work or being in a more emotionally balanced, just, fair, self-aware relationship, it keeps causing, other people in their life inner conflict. And eventually people realize and see the truth. Instead of trying to change you, the 5 of Wands is Leo energy. The 6 of Wands comes after the 5 of Wands. I'm going to get out of my ego about it. I wish you would heal or grow or mature yourself, but I can't make you change, and I see the truth of it, and I'm not going to stay in my ego about it. The only person I can change is me, and I'm not going to move forward with people like that anymore that I think harness these energies in a more shadowy way. They use their emotions manipulatively. They use their resources in the world manipulatively. They try to use, status or ego or image to try to manipulate me. And I don't like feeling manipulated. And I want to move forward with people who are inspired by truth and love, so I've changed. And then the 5 comes after the 4. And the house card up here is like the 4 of Wands. My foundation is going to take this inspired action in my life. And apparently that's not what you want to do. So I'm ending this relationship to move forward in life myself. And some of the shadowy people did not see that. And they don't understand how people are even doing this, because they never change. They keep having their inner conflict, but they keep not listening to their intuition, and they keep being seduced by their more worldly, egoic nature, and they don't understand how people are able to do this. And the reason you're able to do it, and other people are able to do it, is because you did used to harness these energies to some degree in a more worldly, shadowy way, and you are willing to stop doing that and to harness these in a more high vibrational way. And when you do that, you're also willing to cut the people out of your life that still harness that energy in a more worldly, shadowy way. And that's not what, they're not willing to do that. So what is it? The 8 of Cups and the Emperor. So we all can be motivated and inspired by these things of the world that we think will make us happy. The 8 of Cups is going to the 9 of Cups, and then it's to the Emperor energy, which is about the self. We all can be about indulging ourselves in the world, in addictions, in ego, in money, materialism, status, and image. Make that the definition of our worth and value. Really wanting to look like a boss. More about ourselves than others. Some people are done. They don't align with that philosophy anymore. So an end to being in shadowy Aries energy about the self. I want to transform my life and be more balanced, where If I want to move forward with people in a relationship, it can't be just about me more. It can't be more just about them. It's about working cooperatively in a just and fair way from love. And I've seen the truth of it. And now I want to be independent of these things that manipulate me and living my life that way, to really be someone who makes better decisions in my life, wanting to be in relationships with other people who make more emotionally mature decisions in their life, harnessing a more mature Aries energy versus a more worldly, immature Aries energy that anyone can harness. To get out of my ego nature, my competitive nature, my defensive nature, my prideful nature, my conflicted nature. I have seen the truth that I needed to learn to love myself. Why do I make these things of the world so important to me, like they're the end-all be-all? Or why do I let those things define my worth and value? And I've probably done it enough to realize that these things don't really make me happy. It's like the illusion of how happy I am. I want to be in emotionally balanced, just and fair relationships. I've changed. And some of the shadowy people just don't get it. Why aren't you living your life like this? Why are you moving forward in this more emotionally balanced, stable, grounded, just, fair, inspired character and integrity way? And I don't even know how you're doing it. But you look very successful and victorious. And what these people don't know is that they're probably going to end up in a relationship with someone who's like themselves, because that's what they align with within themselves. And they're probably going to get in relationships with other people that have inner conflict about not being about themselves more, just like they do. Or people who are very competitive in the world and more about trying to create this illusion in the world about how wonderful their life is and how successful they are. It's just based more on ego than working cooperatively from love and truth. And that's their free will choice if that's how they want to live their life. And other people inspired to transform their life, to keep transforming their life, to keep shedding old layers of themselves, to grow to their full potential and not let their fears and their insecurity and their pride and their ego and their more immature nature stop them. And other people, those things manipulate them and keep manipulating them. So there you go, Scorpio. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.